Today my business app Sumo.com is worth over 9 figures. And what's crazy about that is a lot of this started in just one weekend. I'm going to share exactly behind the scenes of how I was able to come up with the idea, the product, and the customers so that you can do the same for yourself in just one weekend. Let's dive in. So how did I come up with the idea for AppSumo.com? This is one of the most common questions I get today, which is how do I come up with an amazing business idea? Most of the time it's actually not the business idea. It's like, what's the problem and the customers you're really excited to serve? I wanted to build a business where I was solving the most important problem. And what that problem is getting customers. And I love doing that at Mint.com. I helped them get customers. So I was like, who else can I help do that for? Now, two things were coming out that I thought were really exciting. Number one was software. I saw that there was LinkedIn and FreshBooks and MailChimp. So there was this software thing that was starting to happen in 2010. And secondly, I saw this thing called MacHeist. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. It was bundles of software for Mac products. So you can get like $10 million of Mac products for 50 bucks. I said, well, that's cool. What if I applied it to something else, which is the software world? So let me give you the triangle of what helped me identify the problem. One, I realized that everyone wants more customers. That's important. Two, software's good and it's gonna get bigger. And three, there's a new marketing distribution problem that I can actually really leverage to actually deliver the software and sell it. So those things came together. I was like, oh, maybe there's something here with that type of business. So one thing I wanna highlight, I was thinking about how to help small businesses in other ways. I came up with an idea called Fishbowl. Fishbowl was basically putting fish bowls in stores and saying, hey, get people's business cards and we would digitize them for you and give you an email list. When you talk with small businesses, none of them were actually gonna do anything. So we killed that. We did start Software Taco, which was a review website. I did start Reward Level as well at the same time, which was like this thing I can't even really explain. But AppSumo was one of the ideas, all real still targeted. How do we help small business owners get customers? One thing I want to highlight and really encourage you is just get going. In my previous business, we were doing payments for Facebook games and it sucked. All these people would slap me around like, no, we're not gonna use your product. Give us more money, save us more deals. I was like, man, you don't care about me and I'm really not important to you. I'm just a commodity to their business. And so that led me to think, I knew at Mint.com marketing was really helpful in bringing customers. And then this next thing I saw, if I can actually create something valuable, which is customers, people are really gonna like me. Hey, no, and people are gonna really like me and our business will be valuable. So I think one of the common mistakes I see, especially with business ideas, is that they don't get started because you will iterate along the way. So just get going. And I see so many businesses solving just like low level problems where people are like, yeah, email me next week, send me more information, and they never end up doing it. So really think about how important is my problem for this person? Are they excited to be giving me money? If you want more videos from Uncle Noah, I wanna send you more videos. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I put out 3 juicy business videos to help you on your business journey every single week. So I did waste some time. This is probably common, like a lot of you out here are thinking, oh, I want to start a business. So I created a landing page. You can see it right here on screen. And the landing page was to start collecting emails. Yes, we were doing emails really early on AppSumo. We're still doing that to this day. And I remember thinking like, I'm gonna collect emails, I'm gonna do all this stuff, I'm gonna play a lot of business, and then hopefully I can actually get customers to finally like buy some product at the end. I know that's common. I know a lot of you out there are gonna do this in the future. Hopefully you can watch this message and avoid it. Don't play business. The most important thing you can always do in your business is get customers first. A friend of mine was like, why are you doing landing pages and collecting emails? Go sell, see if you can get customers. The thing that was interesting about this and all the other businesses that I've been hypergrowth that I've been a part of, when they work, they just work right away. I think there are these things where people are like, well, I'm gonna keep dialing, I'm gonna add more stickers. That's what I always kind of think of it as. I'm gonna put more stickers on a Honda. It's still a Honda. It's never gonna be as fast as a Ferrari or a Tesla. Just go buy the Tesla. And so what I mean by that in your own business, it's really hard to convince people early on. It is only gonna get harder. So you really need to think about, is this something people are desiring and is it easy for me? So how do I validate it with real customers in a weekend? And yes, I do like the time limitation because what I found for myself and others is that if you give yourself a week, a month, a year, you'll take as long as you give. So if you limit it to 48 hours, you'll be more creative and you'll really find out the truth so you can not waste time and then find something people are really excited for. How did I actually validate the idea for AppSumo? I like working backwards from who's my customer, what problem do they have, and how do I make sure I can solve that? So I'm not guessing. It makes life a lot easier. And another piece of that is I love solving my own problems first. I'm a huge Redditor. I've been Redditing since like 2006. I know on Reddit, especially at that time in 2010 when I launched AppSumo, that Imgur was really popular for hosting images. And so I thought, well, I know I'm on Reddit. I know everyone there is using Imgur. I know that I could probably figure out a way to promote it on reddit.com. Let me see if I can get a deal on this Imgur product to see if people actually buy software deals online. So I knew I had the customers, I knew I had a product. Now what do I actually do? This is probably something you've thought about where, man, I really like a way to make my toothpaste squeeze better or build a software product that'll help me with scheduling. But there's always generally a big disconnect between my idea and something I really want versus actually the action and making it happen. So I really think you have to think about what are the least amount of steps to find out the truth. So for myself, I didn't know any of the people at Reddit or Imgur. So I called Alan, shout out Alan, founder of Imgur. So I emailed him saying, hey, I want to send you money. I didn't know him at all. And you have to think about what is in the person's best interest. So he has this product he's trying to sell. If I can just help him make a lot of money selling it, I think he's gonna like me. I thought if I could sell 200 of them on Reddit as a targeted number, that would be like, wow, this business is interesting. Let me keep continuing getting these deals, which honestly, I was excited to get Imgur Pro for myself. So I cold emailed the founders of Reddit and I hit up this guy named Chris and I said, hey, can I take you out to breakfast and talk to you about what I'm working on? So Chris Lowe, shout out to him. He took a breakfast with a random guy in San Francisco. And so from that, I said, hey, can I get ads and like run this kind of deal thing I'm doing? So they gave me free placement on Reddit because I asked. Okay, so we have the deal, we have the promotion. How do you actually build like a website or an app or something like that? And I know a lot of people are saying, I want to build an app or a marketplace or some software. The thing you're really thinking about is what's the problem I'm solving and is that important? And then how do I scale it out to have software really help me? I had an HTML page that had Imgur Pro, that had a PayPal button. And all that PayPal button did is just hits buy, you send it, and I get a notification, and then I would manually email the Imgur code for the person to go redeem. There's a lot of people out there, and it's sad, and I know I've done it myself, how much times we spend building software for 12 months, and we finally get it out there, it's crickets. So you need to make sure you get the customers, AKA money, committed very early on before you waste a lot of that time, which is something that maybe you're gonna have to learn for yourself. Your first 1,000 customers are your first 1,000 true fans. You should be friends with them. You should be texting them. You should be emailing them. You should be calling or live chatting them. The more that you can interact with them and build that relationship and community early on, I think the more successful your business is gonna be. Ask these customers, why did you buy? And two, what other products should I use? And a lot of AppSumo very early on, it was working backwards from who's the customer base and then what products they want, and then how do I just get deals that I know are gonna be guaranteed to work. Here are the key concepts I really want you to understand about some of this $1 million weekend activities and really getting a business going. Number one is your velocity to $1. So how quickly can you get that sweet nectar taste and really get that dollar? Because it'll build your confidence, it'll give you a belief that you can do it and you're creating something of value, whether selling cookies or software or consulting. Get your first dollar, even from a friend, just to feel good about yourself. Secondly, think about $1 Million Weekend. So the $1 Million Weekend has 3 key concepts. Number one, you gotta do it in 48 hours. Number two, I generally recommend getting 3 customers. That's what I've seen from literally thousands of people. If you're not able to do that, it is only gonna get harder. And lastly, I would really try to aim for $100. Why 100? Because it's not insignificant that someone could just give you 20, but it's enough that you're like, wow, I can try to get $100 in a weekend. If you can really accomplish those 3 things, I definitely think you're onto something. And if it's not working out, that's a great thing because it'll lead you to something that will. But Noah, this was 10 years ago. You used to have hair. What about now? So let's take an example. I found this company in Austin. It is called Eterneva. It's a really interesting company. They turn ashes, basically of dead people, into diamonds in jewelry. If I were gonna start it based on some of the principles I'm talking about in this video and recommending for you, think about it. What would we do? Would we go build a website? Would we go find a jeweler? Let's try to start some Facebook ads and see if we can get anyone to click on these things. That's what a lot of people do, and I know you're thinking you're not the one, but you're maybe also sitting on the sidelines or you haven't gotten this thing going. So at the end of the day, what's the problem you're solving? Hey, people are dying and they're going to ashes and you're putting it on your mantle. Maybe I can turn it to diamonds. If you have the money for it, then actually making the product is a lot easier. So the first thing I would do, I would say, how do I find people who are dying or are going to die and see if I can get customers right away? So for me, I'm thinking, hey, are any of my friends dying or know people who are dying? So I first off always look at my network. Who do I know that's dying? So I can post on social, I can text my close friends, and if they're not dying, I hope none of my friends are dying, maybe their friends or their friends. So look at your referrals. That's always then the step 2, which is go in network, then go right next to your network on the referral side. If that's not working, then my next thought is calling people who have a lot of ashes. So that is mortuaries, right? I think that's what it's called. The people that have the morgues and stuff, they're burning the bodies, they're having the ashes. So I would cold call these people, say, I have this idea for this. Is there a way I could talk to some of your customers, or how would you approach actually talk to people about it? I think you'd be surprised. Now, the one question I'm thinking about, and I think you're gonna think about too, is, well, how much do I actually charge if I'm really trying to validate and see if this is a real business? So what you really need to do is have some level of a simple budget to think, all right, well, how much does jewelry cost? And you need to have some idea about that. So when you're talking to your customers, you can say, hey, it's gonna be about $500 or $100 or $1,000, and know that you're not gonna get totally screwed, because a lot of people are like, I did it, Noah, but then I'm losing a bunch of money. You should not be losing money. You should not even be spending a lot of money. You should be profiting really early on as you're getting all these businesses started. So once I got those 3 customers, $1 Million Weekend secured, and if it's not secured, you might actually want to find out are there other things around this kind of space that you can move into. If you've loved this video and you want even more detailed step-by-step instructions, check out the $1 Million Weekend video right up here. It's been super popular. That's helped a lot of people. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I want to send you more juicy business videos to help you on your journey. I do love you, and I'll see you out there. Pew, pew.